Reported shooting, 5401 Chrysler. It's a 22-year-old female with an unknown weapon, number 1 Arrowhead Drive at the Chiefs facility. It's an unknown party at the practice field that confronted the staff. They don't know what he's armed with.
We continue our coverage of breaking news this afternoon as police confirm that 25-year-old Chiefs linebacker Javon Belcher has taken his own life in an apparent murder-suicide. KMBZ's EJ Becker is at 5400 and Chrysler, the scene of the first shooting. He joins us live with more. EJ?
The trouble started around 7 o'clock this morning when police say Chiefs linebacker Javon Belcher and his girlfriend were involved in a domestic dispute. They see she was shot and died here in the 5400 block of Chrysler. Belcher then went to the Chiefs stadium facilities where he spoke with coaches and general manager Scott Pioli. Aaron Snapp with the Kansas City Police Department says Belcher was not alone when he shot himself.
When the officers arrived, when they were pulling up, they actually observed a black male who had a gun to his head, and he was talking to a couple of coaches out in the parking lot. As officers pulled up and began to park, that's when they heard the gunshot, and it appears the individual took his own life.
We understand the couple had an almost 3-month-old baby. She is now said to be with family. The Chiefs and family taking part in the investigation this afternoon. A tough Chiefs season now infinitely more difficult as tragedy descends over Arrowhead Stadium. But the NFL has said at this point the Chiefs' home game tomorrow against Carolina will go on as scheduled. Live in the 5400 block of Chrysler, EJ Becker, KMBZ News.
Javon Belcher joined the Chiefs as an undrafted rookie middle linebacker in 2009. 610 Sports Radio's Danny Parkins says Belcher was soft-spoken and mild-mannered.
A police department spokesman that I talked to said that they had not had any previous incidents that he was aware of, but again, he was the spokesperson, and he said that that's a relatively high-profile name, so he thinks he would have known about it if there was. So in terms of previous instances or any sort of reason to believe that Belcher could be involved in this sort of thing, there were no warning signs or indication that this was coming. Everybody seems to be in a pretty large state of shock out here.
It's 610 Sports Radio's Danny Parkins. Mayor Sly James addressed the media after receiving news of the tragedy at Arrowhead. He sends his condolences to anyone affected by the 2 shooting deaths this morning and says this is a time for us to reflect on how we treat some of the most high-profile people in our society.
What kind of burden was he under to do that? And what is it like to be unable to go to dinner without people getting in your face and calling you scum and loser and everything else? And that happens, and that's unfortunate.
James says there were likely many factors involved in Belcher's alleged actions today and that he is not trying to pin the blame on any one circumstance. Once again, the NFL says the Chiefs' home game against the Carolina Panthers will go on as scheduled tomorrow, noon kickoff. Chiefs linebacker Javon Belcher has taken his own life in an apparent murder-suicide. He was 25 years old.
Frantic and heartbreaking. The latest 911 calls released by police in the case of former Chiefs linebacker Javon Belcher.
Did you hear what you're saying?
Yes, she's moving when I talk to her.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Is she bleeding?
Yes, she is.
Where is your son at?
Yes.
Huh?
Look, please, just get this ambulance here, please.
We're on the way. Where's your son at?
He left.
He left?
Yes.
Okay. They were arguing and he shot her?
Yes, they was arguing.
That is sound of Javon Belcher's mother, Cheryl Shepard, pleading with emergency crews to get to the home on Chrysler where Cassandra Perkins lay dying. She was shot multiple times by the former Chiefs linebacker.
You can hear the couple's daughter, 3-month-old Zoe, in the background. The same tape includes the call for medical help at the Chiefs training facility where Belcher took his own life.
We do have a confirmed shooting, and it is, I believe, Belcher.
Plenty of tears being shed for Javon Belcher and his girlfriend, Cassandra Perkins. Both families released statements asking for prayers after Belcher committed these terrible crimes. Belcher's aunt, Mary Kimball, said no word can express their sorrow.
The impact that this inconceivable tragedy has had on our hearts is immeasurable.
Investigators are still searching for a motive behind the murder-suicide. Toxicology results on Belcher looking for drugs or alcohol not due in for another 6 to 8 weeks.